welcome in everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. It's Pags and I today. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. So you had an audition yesterday. You could probably talk about it now, right?
I did. It was more of an interview. I have been. Uh, Somebody asked if I would apply to Wheel of Fortune, and so far I've made it past two cuts. So I have one more cut that I'd have to make it past before I would be a contestant. I'm not really supposed to talk about it very much because ultimately, the more you talk about it, you start to go against different things. But
I got you.
they haven't chosen me yet, so until they've chosen me, I can't.
No,
We'll see.
fair enough. Fair enough.
But they were looking for NFL fans, and I happen to be one.
That you do. And if they're looking for eyes on the screen, that's a good one to have.
It would be. We've already been talking about, like, if I do happen to make it on the show, whenever they would air it, that there would have to be a watch party.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's true whether or not you go and you win, or if you just are absolutely horrible.
Right. Well, I mean, either way, I'm pretty good at hangman and stuff like that. Like, I'm good at, like, I've always been able to kind of be like, oh, that's what that says. I know it's different when you're actually on the show. Nerves start to kick in, things like that. You got adrenaline flowing. But
I just mean it's good TV. If you win, it's good. If you're just god awful, it's good.
Well, I just want to do the "What's up, everybody" right in front of Ryan Seacrest. I think that's who's the host now.
Is that going to be the new host now?
I think he is the host.
I got you.
So
we all of a sudden we can have prop bets if you get on there. Like, first spin's going to be bankrupt.
Exactly. I figure I'm going to get. I've had dreams about what it is that's going to happen now, because, like, it's like, oh, I'm going to get on this show. I'm going to win like $54,000. And out of that, I'm going to just, and once I get all the taxes, taken out of it, because it's California and they take
$12.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm going to be able to buy a round for the bar downstairs for my living room, give a couple of $100 for my kid's mother to go buy him some clothes, and then, be able to buy like a ham sandwich with the rest.
Yep. No drink, just the ham sandwich.
Just the ham sandwich. I'm buying everybody else a drink. At that point, I'm done. So we'll see. Obviously, who knows? I mean, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll hit the million, and then at that point, they would get $570,000 from me in California.
Pretty
much. At that point, I want a refund. If I give them that much money, I want a refund, because I haven't worked out there in California. So those bastards are always stealing money.
There is no doubt. I think I do have our first guest for our Tomahawk show. He hosts another show called Thunder and Lightning, and he's a Giants fan. So I think that could be fun. And he's a steak eater. So I reached out to him yesterday. He said that he'd be open to it depending on when we air. Obviously, we have logistics to work out, but he was game for it. So.
Yeah, as I look at a calendar here, as I'm trying to think of when a good time to do this would be, because obviously it would be done, and then we would probably
air it the next day or whatever.
Right. So as I look at this, like, it can't be against Atlanta. That's too tough of a series to do that with. As I'm looking, because the Phillies are the ones that are going to really play the biggest part here.
Well, I mean, it'll be August, so you're gonna have like camps starting. So I mean, there'll be plenty of football topics. Plus, at that point, your Giants like preseason Hard Knocks thing will be complete. So then I'll probably finally watch it. I am curious to watch the Netflix series of Receiver. That should be interesting. So I mean, there will be plenty of football topics anyway.
It's either that or we could do it on September 12th.
What's the significance of the 12th?
There's no Phillies game that day. It's a Thursday night to air it on Friday.
For everybody tuning in, you get to watch us coordinate calendars.
Yeah.
September what again?
12th.
12th. That's a Thursday Night Football's already started, so I won't be able to do that.
Got you. Okay, then.
Yeah, because I'll be at a sports bar that night. Not that that's terrible, but
Well, the only other night that I could actually see that occurring could be like August 19th, which is a Monday, and it would probably not air until that Friday.
I mean, that's fine. It doesn't matter when we record it, right? Like we can place it whatever day we want.
Yeah, because you know what other thing I was thinking about doing for that is that not only you have to have a tomahawk, and we should maybe do a fantasy football draft that same day. The tomahawk is your entry fee.
Okay.
You have to have the tomahawk, and then you get to choose your thing. But that gives it, like I said, that's 4 shows. That would be 2 shows that day, obviously, because we'd have to do it in the morning. We'd have to do it at night.
Yep.
And then, but then we get Friday off.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. Well, those 3-day weekends are just killers. I mean,
yeah, it's the worst.
Actually, and it'd be funny. It'd be good for me because that's following that Saturday. There's one of 2 things that could be happening. I could be in Kansas City for the Phillies versus the Royals, or I will be throwing out the first pitch for the Lancaster Barnstormers on that Saturday, the 24th.
That could be fun.
So it's like I'm trying to work out all the details on whether I'm going to Kansas City or not. To be honest, I don't know that I want to. It's like it might be too much for me trying to go to Kansas City, then coming back home, and then getting ready to go the following week to go to Brazil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's a lot.
But I will say this. Brazil they are ridiculous gouging the tickets. Just so that everybody knows. Just so that everybody knows, this is not the Super Bowl. If you think you're going to get $1,200 a ticket to go to Brazil, you're out of your goddamn mind. Out of your mind. There's no chance. I'm not paying $1,200 for a ticket. I don't expect that there's going to be a lot of people paying $1,200 for a ticket. It's not a Super Bowl. Just the fact that it's happening in Brazil does not make it great. You go over to London, those tickets are $400 or $500. Not when you go to Brazil, just because the Eagles are playing does not mean anybody's going to spend that $1,200. All you people that are gouging on these money, Vivid Seats and everybody, I hope you get screwed royal. Royal, because there's no way you're going to have those people paying that money. It costs a ridiculous, ungodly amount of money just to get down there. So to think that you're going to also pay $1,200 just because it's in Brazil, guess what? You can suck it. There ain't no way I'm paying that, or I know a lot of people aren't paying it. No chance. There's no chance.
No, I mean, and the plane tickets are already pretty crazy because, I mean, my wife's going to be down there the week prior. So
yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I thought that, first off, the NFL, and this is the NFL's fault here. The NFL was real sneaky with the sale date. You didn't know when they were going on sale, and then they sold out in 19 minutes. And the NFL only takes care of really they took care of their teams. Obviously, they had like 400 tickets to be able to give away, 200 pairs of tickets, which was ridiculous. It's 45,000, but we're only going to give $400 tickets to each team. Get the frig out of here. And then they took care of On Location because they get a good kickback from that. And On Location, if you've ever spent the money on Location, it sounds like it's a great idea, but you're overpaying for no customer service whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
let's do a party, but nobody gives a crap about the party. It's for people who have ridiculous amounts of money and wants to be at the event. That's what On Location is. But
Yeah.
they don't take care of the real fan. And the fact that Vivid Seats is the only one that sells these tickets right now, can't get them through Ticketmaster, you can't get them through any of these other entities. They're not even allowed to sell them. And Vivid Seats, you can go on there right now. You can maybe find the cheapest seat for like $900, and that's like up in the very big nosebleeds. You can suck it. You can suck it. And I hope that Vivid Seats loses their ass on this. That's what I want them to do. I want them to lose their ass. I want them to not be able to sell any of these tickets. And I hope that they get crushed with fake tickets so that these people come back and they sue the hell out of Vivid Seats because they spent ridiculous amounts of money for bad seats. That's what I want. I want to see Vivid Seats go down because of this. It's friggin' nuts.
Well, we know that Vivid will not be sponsoring our show, but if Ticketmaster, if you want to, hey.
Hey, Ticketmaster, Ticketmaster has already done work with me. So has TickPick. So
Okay. All right.
I mean, I'm not worried about Vivid Seats. They are shysters. So
Yeah, and 1,200 is crazy. And Rob, what we were talking about before is we're going to do a Tomahawk show. We talked about it a couple of days ago, where we're going to invite people on with the tomahawk steak. So you got your ticket to get on screen is you have to be eating a tomahawk by the bone. Should be
yes, you're
should be.
holding on to the bone, eating
You
a
are a
tomahawk
caveman.
steak, and then we're going to have. It's probably going to be limited to as many as 10 people. We can only have 10 people on the show,
Yep.
and we will have a fantasy draft. So that's your ticket. Your ticket is a tomahawk, and then we do an NFL fantasy draft.
Yeah, I think that could be fun. That could be fun. And whoever wants to join in on that, good on you, because I always forget to actually do anything with my team. So you won't finish last.
Hey, I won the championship for the very first time in my life last year. So I can't wait till I get my trophy. And that's going to come. We're going to have to go early this year because I have to go to, I'm going to be gone for the first week of the season. Normally we do it right after Labor Day, but
Hmm.
in Labor Day, I'm going to be in Brazil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to have to go early this year. So maybe, that's going to be the other change. I'm going to have to do it. Normally it's going to have to be on a Sunday, the 25th, I think, for to receive my trophy because I'm going to be doing the first pitch at Barnstormers. So
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I'll keep you posted on logistics there, Rob. But yeah, definitely come on. It'd be fun.
and it's got to be a true tomahawk steak.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting a a New York bone-in ribeye
Yep.
and then throwing a stick on it. No, no, no. Spend the friggin' money. Get yourself a tomahawk steak for real. You can get tomahawk steaks for like 25, 30, $35. The last tomahawk steak I had would cost me $40. You know what? I wasn't very happy with the way I cooked it.
Yeah. Well, that's the worst thing when you spend a lot of money on a steak is if you after you're done cooking it, you're like, it was all right. You're mad. Right.
I was unhappy. It was my fault. So I can only blame myself so much.
No.
But
That's what I mean. Like, it's not like it's a bad cut. Like, that's going to be a good cut every time. It's just, it's when you make it and you're like, as soon as you bite into it, you're like, I should have tweaked this, and it would have been way better.
yeah, I really I should have marinated it differently. I marinated it in like an Italian dressing, which
Oh, okay.
is like I like it like you get the bold flavor dressing, and it's great on London broil, but you have to broil it with the London broil. This
Sure.
it didn't broil the same, and then I did a pan sear after the fact through a cast iron pan. Just
Mhm.
it wasn't as how I would have wanted it. I next time I am going to just grill it. It just that's what I would have had to do, and then make sure I can butter the living hell out of it. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, Rob, there's a couple of ways that I might go with this. Obviously, grilling it would make the most sense just because I love to grill. Um, and so that's probably the way it'll go. But a buddy of mine owns a barbecue catering company. so I might have him smoke it. So then I was like, I mean, that could be kind of fun. Plus, get to plug his business and all that. So
That would look funny smoking a
right.
tomahawk.
So, but yeah, we'll see. Again, there's a lot of logistics to work out for this show to happen. Not just on timing, but actually going and getting the steak, and there's things to do.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and call it. Actually, what did I say? It was August 19th.
19th, yeah,
August
Monday
19th.
the 19th.
Monday the 19th. Let's call it that.
All right, and then what? It'd be 8 p.m. your time.
Yeah, we could even go 9 if you wanted to, just so that it's 6 o'clock your time.
Okay.
Yeah, that gives everybody an opportunity to do that. I'd let a couple people know as well, like maybe some of the guys that I deal with. Like 8 or 9 o'clock. 8 or 9 o'clock. We'll leave that open to interpretation, because 9 o'clock starts to get a little late. Try and eat a big steak and then go into bed. You know what I mean?
Especially because then the show wraps up at 10 your time.
Well, I'm figuring that that's going to be a 2-hour show too.
Oh, okay. So then it'd be later. Yeah. So probably 8. Let's just say 8.
Right. 5 o'clock Pacific.
Yeah.
4 o'clock Arizona time.
No, they jump between Mountain and Pacific, so it would either be our time or it'd be an hour later.
Got you.
Since Understood. They don't do the daylight savings crap, they spend half the year in Pacific time and half the year in Mountain time.
Either way, I got no time for that. But anyways, so hey, you know what I got to say? The Dodgers went down again, and I may have inadvertently had something to do with that. So there was an interesting play that happened during the Dodgers game.
Okay.
The center fielder lost sight of the ball.
Mm.
So a shout out to Cavs Catering, who called me up. I was in the game already, and he said, hey, listen, I had 2 tickets that I wound up eating tonight. Go use them or give them to somebody to use.
Mm.
It was section 101, row 1, 2 seats.
Okay. Awesome.
So that's like center field. It's just to the I guess if you're looking at it from home plate, it's to the right. If you're looking at it from the outfield, it's to the left of the bullpen. And I went there specifically for one at bat. Ohtani has been sitting on 199 home runs. His next home run is his 200th. Oh. And so ultimately I went there for one at bat, because I'm like, hey, if he's going to hit the home run, why not hit it to me? Because I will eat that ball before I give it back to him without $2 million.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm not giving it to you. I don't like what you did to the people out in LA who caught your ball. You scammed them and screwed them over. I'm going to screw you over. You don't get the 200th ball without paying me my money. You know what I mean? Yep. And not only that, not only are you going to pay me my money, I want a rookie card signed by you. I want a Japanese card signed by you. I want a baseball bat signed by you and everybody else in the Dodgers organization, just because I'm going to auction them off for charity. That's what I want to do. So I want all of that, and then you'll get the ball back. Asshole. But anyways, he didn't hit a home run, which was even better for me. But so after that one at bat, my buddy was there with his kid, who's like 9-10 years old. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pass these tickets off to him. I'm already in. I don't need to sit down here. I don't sit down anyways. I'm going to give them to somebody more worthwhile. So where that is, it's a very unique spot, and it's a very unique section. It's a very small section, and it's like in a triangle. So my buddy's kid and another kid he was sitting next to were over in the very far corner talking to the people in the dugout, trying to get a baseball or whatever.
Okay.
And It's in a unique spot. Along that same time, there was also a squirrel that jumped up on the wall to
Okay.
run. So you got kids that are talking, and they're in a spot where I think they don't want people at, because it's just sort of distracting for a little bit of the players.
Sure.
And there's a fly ball. He goes and looks for it. I guess he saw the squirrel and the kids, and he went to go try to track the ball again, lost the ball. Wound up being a triple the run scores. That wound up being the winning run.
Oh, funny.
So if I didn't give those tickets to my buddy and his kid, they may not have been in that corner. That squirrel may not have gotten scared and ran on the wall. And and for the rest of the game, everybody, they didn't blame the kids, they blamed the squirrel, because now
Yeah.
they were yelling at the guy, "Oh, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel!"
Awesome.
But Pages, yeah, I think the guy's name was Pages. He lost the ball, wound up being a triple for Whit Merrifield, and what was supposed to be a short out wound up being the winning run.
Nice.
So my fault. I'm going to take full responsibility. Thank you
Hey.
very much.
Look at that squirrel out there causing errors. I like it.
Yeah. And I didn't have make face paint on either. There was like no face paint on. I literally was there yesterday. I had a hat on and these sunglasses, and literally nobody, when I had the hat on, nobody had any idea who I was. I wound up
Sure.
taking a total of 4 pictures all day long,
Oh, wow.
which was absolutely amazing. Even like normally when I go there and I don't have my face paint on, but I have, people notice the mohawk and they still want to take pictures. I'll take about 20 or 30 pictures.
Sure.
4 pictures was amazing. It was so hot and just
Oh, yeah.
so muggy. So
Squirrel.
exactly. So like I said, I take responsibility for that win, and in the process, the Phillies are the first team to 60 wins.
Absolutely. And the Mariners keep pace. They take care of business against the Padres. First series they've won in a little bit, winning both games because it's just 2-game series, and they face off against the Angels tonight. So that
Should be another win.
Exactly. They should be able to do work against the Angels. Hopefully they will. Because they got to be able to, like, if they're going to win the division, they got to win these things, especially against the bad teams. The Astros end up with another injury, so it doesn't sound like it's a long-term injury, but it's a guy that's been routinely injured. So, I mean, I would imagine they've been used to him not being in the lineup anyway. So I don't expect it to be a huge issue for them.
Got you.
But,
Well, I mean, it's good that they're keeping pace. What do they have? 51 wins now.
yeah, that sounds right. Let's see. We got 51 and 43, going 4-6 in their last 10. Astros, 7-3 in the last 10. So, I mean, they're right there. So
Let me do the standings. Let me see if it shows. It doesn't ever show like the entire 51 and 43, and the Phillies are 60 and 32.
Yeah.
So, that's a good 9 games up on you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the next closest team is the Orioles, right?
No.
The Guardians?
No, the next closest team is the Guardians.
Oh, they both have 57. Yeah. They both have 57.
Well, yeah, the Guardians are a half a game up on them.
Yeah.
1 less game played. So, yeah, how about that? And you guys are 2 games up on Astros.
Yeah, so you're 3 games up on the league.
Yes.
Oh no, that's you're 3 games up on the league. Yep. Nice. No, you guys have been killing it. I definitely
2.5 to be honest. Only 2.5 because of the 1 game difference on.
Oh, against I got you.
Yeah, for the Guardians, but yeah. Hey, listen, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No,
You know what?
that's amazing, especially because of the injuries you've had.
There is something to be said. Uh, Somebody much wiser than me told me one point. There are every baseball team is going to win 60, they're going to lose 60. It's what
Oh,
happens with the other 42 that occurs. Now, of course, there are teams that go like Seattle and they lose less than 60 games. And they don't usually win the World Series because it's Seattle. But
yeah. Well,
um,
it's because they get it to October and they're like, we made it. It's like you realize you're supposed to keep playing though, right?
but hey, listen, I firmly believe, had you guys won that 18 inning game against Houston,
I think we'd have moved on.
you'd have won. You'd have won, and I think you guys would have gone to the World Series that year. You'd have lost to the Phillies,
Sure.
but you would have made it to the World Series. I don't believe once Houston was out, the Yankees were not anywhere near a team ready to play.
Yeah.
The celebrity softball game. Oh, I in 2 years it's in Philadelphia, and I am working on trying to become somebody who plays in that.
That'd be
That
fun.
I hope that I am enough of a celebrity in 2 years to play in the celebrity softball game.
Well, you better spit on that thing. Speed the
Mm.
thing along.
The fact that she could be playing on that team it really pisses me off right now.
Yeah,
But
right. She'll probably be the captain. What are you talking about?
exactly. You know what? It's called just stepping in shit. That's just stepping in shit.
Hey,
Getting lucky.
honestly, most of the time it's that, right?
God
It's
bless her. God bless her. I hope that it lasts a long time for her because ultimately these 15 minutes of fame always goes by quick.
it
And
does. So
and
capitalize while you got it.
and make sure that you have the right people around you because you do not need somebody to ruin this for you
Oh, for
that
sure.
quickly. That's what would happen. Somebody would ruin it for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
Now,
take a weirdo picture and a boyfriend who's a little jealous got like some nudes of her and throw them out there. Like there's lots of different things that could possibly occur. Don't let it happen. Do not let it happen, girl. I'm rooting for you a little bit.
yeah. No, I mean, especially if you're at a spot where they're offering you 30 grand to go to a nightclub for the night. Um, I hope one of your first phone calls was to a financial advisor of how to protect this money that's coming in because, ultimately the shine of this is going to wear off. Right. So, I mean, capitalize while you can and use the money as smart as you can.
Oh, exactly, because ultimately this is, yeah, there's only going to be so much longer that the Hawk Tua is going to be.
Yeah. Then some
She didn't
other,
even know what she said. She doesn't even know what she said. It was just
no,
like
I'm sure she was
think of
hammered.
how ridiculous it is. Like that original video, like when it was, she was drunk.
No, exactly. Yeah.
She said the right things to the right person, and somebody saw it, and that was like it took like 2 months
Oh,
for
yeah.
that to eventually go viral like that.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Cause I mean, it has to get out of your local area and then your region. Like it takes time to grow. I mean, even some of your best viral videos aren't generally overnight. Like there's been some that have been out there floating around that somebody takes a piece of a year or two later that it finally goes viral. So I mean, you never know what the clip's going to be.
well, that was like my viral. The biggest viral video that I ever had was me saying, "Hey, we're down by 17, but I didn't hear no bell. This game ain't over yet." And then the next video that I did
It's
was,
over.
"So the season is over," and
Sad
they
panda.
they took both of those, the beginning of that first video and the beginning of that second video, they mashed them together, and that was the viral video that went mega mega viral. You know, I mean, I still have kids coming up to me and saying, "So the season is over." Yeah, so and of course I have to, and I have to when our season ends, I got to do the exact. I have to say it because
Yeah,
they want it, and
of
every
course.
time I say that, that video goes
Pops off. Yeah,
minor viral. You know what I
sure,
mean? 500,000. You know, not like the 36 million that the first one did. You know what I mean?
sure. Yeah.
But
Uh. Oh man, we're at the halfway point already. All right.
how about that?
It was just
Quick.
cruising along. Look at us talking about nothing and getting this thing done today.
That's the way it works.
See you in the other half.
This is Reggie Jones, owner and founder of Air Sports Academy. Air is based on 4 core principles: heart, education, integrity, resiliency. Air is about developing student athletes physically and mentally through training, mentorship, and effective marketing. We've created a platform and a blueprint for our state to shine in the brightest of lights. I created this program because it was a need for our state. We needed to have the light shine on the student athletes in our region, and now that is happening at an all-time and undeniable rate. We created a lane for the kids in our state to get their college education paid for and set their families up for future success. We created an environment where serious athletes can now come compete fearlessly. We've achieved this through our variety of elite programs. Our 6-month off-season program, where first-year starters or seasoned vets can all come develop. Our 5-on-5 program, which is all about our line. Our youth tackle program, which is the first and only youth tackle team from the state of Washington to ever win a major national championship. Our 7-on-7 program, which is ranked top 10 in the country every year. Our high school 11-on-11 club tackle program, which creates unique and much-needed opportunities for our kids. Our college prep program, which allows our graduates to come back from college and prepare for the upcoming season. Our track and field program, which creates an opportunity for our young air boys and air girls to continue to get faster. When you're a national program, you receive national respect, which is why when you look at recruiting boards and top player lists from around the country, you'll always find players from Air on those lists. Which is why college coaches from some of the most prestigious schools around the country come into our facility to recruit our players. The Penn State, Alabama, Oregon, Stanford, Florida State, the list goes on. Our players are being recruited, offered, and committing to some of the top schools in the nation. The experience our players and families receive is second to none. We offer a competitive brand of sports at Air. We are the ball. And with that comes great responsibility. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
All right, and welcome back. So we got Shedeur out here saying dumb stuff again, because I feel like that's pretty much all he seems to like to do. He got called out the other day during their summer practice of not really putting out any effort, and so then he comes out and says we know we're everybody's Super Bowl, which is hilarious. So some of the comments were fantastic, but most of them had to do with actual facts of, dude, you were 4-8. Nobody cares about Colorado. I mean, they won one game in their conference. Like,
And that was against Colorado State, right?
yeah. It's not like they were beating good teams.
Yeah,
right?
because
Like,
they got themselves ranked because of that.
well, they got ranked because they started out with 3 wins. As soon as they beat TCU, which shouldn't have been a big deal because of how decimated that roster became after, after their national championship game, a lot of their roster moved on, right? They either graduated, some of them went to the NFL, some of them transferred. So, I mean, it wasn't the same team. And so they get that win. They beat a couple of teams that didn't matter. And then, they beat Colorado State. But then they got absolutely smoked by Oregon, USC, Stanford, UCLA. I mean, everybody, right? So, I mean, And had they played Washington, they'd have got beat down in that one too. They just didn't get the opportunity. So, but it's funny to me because he is putting out so much stuff for, it's not going to be somebody's Super Bowl, but they may come to hit you, right? Like they may be okay with that 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to come in and knock your helmet off. Like they may not be worried about it. I mean, I remember when I played, I had coaches that said, if you're going to get a penalty, make sure it counts, right? Like if you're going to get a flag, make sure they remember it all game.
Right. Right. Listen, yeah, if you're going to play that way, play for keeps.
Yes. Only do it once, but go blow them up. If you're going to get the 15-yarder, make them feel it all day.
You know what? See, this is what happens when somebody gets the golden spoon up their ass. You know what I mean? It's like he was born with the golden spoon up his ass, and he thinks that all of a sudden now he is his father.
Yeah,
you haven't proven nothing yet, dude. Nothing.
He 100% is a guy that started on third, thought he hit a triple.
Right. And that's exactly it. Like, it's like, let's think about anything that you're saying. Anything at all that you're saying makes no friggin' sense at all. Like 0 sense. You're driving around in what is it? It's you know, a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Right. I think he's got like a Rolls Royce or something like that.
I think he has one of the Tesla trucks too.
Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, you haven't done anything yet. You are living off of your father. And I know that your father is okay with it because he's allowing it, but he's mentioned it a couple of times. He's mentioned it. He's like, yeah, you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing. You aren't trying to get any better. You just think you're great. And that's not good enough.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
hey, good for him. He'll learn.
You think so?
Well, you know what? He'll learn when he doesn't get picked in the first round.
See, that's the thing is I think he might still get there is the worst part.
You know what? Truth of the matter is that the proof comes in the pudding every time when you actually have to perform on a professional level. Everything that you've had right now has been given to you. Your father has been your coach, which makes that very simple. Makes it very easy. All of a sudden now, when you think you're going to do better, I don't know that you are. So, you go to a regular NFL team, they aren't going to take it easy on you.
No, not at all. I just think he still gets drafted a lot because even if he does exactly what he's doing, just because of who his dad is, I have a feeling it's kind of like Bronny, right? He gets drafted. He wasn't even the best player on his own team. And the best player that was on his team didn't get drafted. So you can't tell me that James on the back of the jersey didn't play a factor, especially when you figure that 55 pick usually doesn't end up with like a long-term deal. He ends up with a 3-year deal for a guy that realistically might be playing in the G League the whole time. I mean, he won't. Dad's on the team. Right. But talent-wise, he very well could be, just a G League guy.
Well, and not only that, but like even after all of that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All right, so you got this 3-year contract because of Dad. And so an NFL team, but are they going to take him in the first round because of Dad? I don't think they're going to take him in the first round.
You wouldn't think so, but
I mean the NBA decided to have 2 days of the draft specifically so that Bronny James could get picked and it be in a spotlight. Yeah. They'll never have 2 days of a draft again. Ever. No, definitely not. Because you know how many people watch the second day of the NBA draft?
Nobody watches that.
Zero.
I mean, very few people watch the first day of it.
Right. Because nobody cares. Nobody even knows half these people.
No, you know the top 3 players, maybe.
Yeah, the one ugly dude who's 7'4", and everybody else.
Yeah, because he's 7'4". Right. You know who that guy
is. Ugly as sin. But
speaking of Bronny, this is hilarious. Let me Let's see. Is that one? This right here is the prop bets for game 2. 10 points is a plus 200. You know how terrible that is? Honestly, I think you would take the under on a 4-leg parlay right here.
I don't know. The 4+ assists or 4+ rebounds, that's a line for him, actually. That tells me that he may get those.
That being said, I think I would throw $5 on an under parlay here.
On a shade of it all. Yeah, but you're going to be giving up. You're giving up. So like a 4-leg parlay, plus 200. That means it's a minus 240. You know, at plus 105, it's what minus 115.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you would
minus
throw $5 on
115
the over, I guess, but
you know,
yeah,
the 10 points. I would take out the 10 points. I see the record of 2 plus 3-pointers. That means that's where the 10 points is coming from. If he hits those 2 3-pointers, they're going to say he's going to get the 10 points.
Yeah, you would think so.
Does that mean is it 10 and a half? When it says 10 plus, does that mean it's 10 and a half points that he's got to get 11 points?
Well, 10 plus, I think means you could land on 10.
Okay, well I need to know that. So that means it's 9.5.
Yeah, so
the over under is 9.5, and the over is 3.5 on 3.5, and then 1.5 at 3-pointers.
These numbers here were MGM sports bet.
Yeah, this is why I don't gamble. That's why I do not gamble.
But yeah, I mean it's funny because I mean you're right. Everything they're banking on the under, I guess, but it
is that game tonight?
I think so. I think it is tonight.
See, if it was 3-point attempts, I would say he's going to definitely throw him up there, but he's not going to make them.
Well, that's the thing, right? Game 1, he went 2 for 9, 2 for 10, something like that. So I mean, had 4 points.
Right.
So not exactly killing it.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean, hey, listen, he's his father's son.
Yep. No, and I mean, I guess if anything else of the two, at least Bronny's quiet, right? He's just out there doing his thing.
Yeah, I mean and his father obviously was playing last night against Canada.
Yep.
And Team USA did win that game. It was a lot more back and forth than I thought. It was very weird rules. Not weird rules, for only 5 fouls, 10-minute quarters. It's a smaller court. It's small.
Like a foot closer.
Yeah, it's like it's a little odd.
You can play more physical.
Yep.
No, I mean it's almost a different game.
Yeah, the Olympics are more like the NBA, but it's yeah. I know that Joel Embiid did not play very well. Drew Holiday did play very well because obviously I hear that name all the time, and I think that the Sixers had him.
Yeah.
And then I think of other names that that are doing really well. And I'm like, the Sixers had him too. And they had him too. And they had him too. And they had him too. You know what I mean? It's like I think there are a lot of guys that the Sixers drafted that have won rings, but just not with the Sixers.
Yeah. Welcome to the Mariners. Tons of guys have won rings, just not in Seattle.
Right. So it's like I whatever. You know what I mean? I'm glad that he won a ring. Actually, he's now won his second ring, right? He was with Boston for this last championship, right?
Yep.
That was them. That was Milwaukee saying, "Yeah, we don't need defense. We got all this offense."
Exactly. And Rob, I don't watch the ESPYs. I don't care. Yeah. In fact, you saying they were tonight, is
The first
now
time I even heard about it.
exactly like I had no idea. Award shows, I think, are some of the dumbest things. Yeah, not
I
my,
agree. I
but
agree wholeheartedly.
that that's just a me thing though, because like I don't keep trophies and stuff. Like every trophy I've ever won, I've never kept any of them. Like they're just like, oh, okay, cool, on to the next thing. Like I don't know. Maybe when
Yeah.
I'm old, I'll be sad about it. But
Yeah, I'm not big into dust collectors.
yeah.
Just yeah, the last trophy I had was for shooting pool actually,
Oh, okay.
and it was like, hey, yeah, we won this trophy, and I got to keep the trophy, and it wound up in the basement, and ultimately, I think something fell on top of it, and it broke in half, and
And then you throw it away. Yeah.
exactly.
No, exactly. The only thing I kept obviously was my championship ring. I kept that because
Rings are different because you could put them away. I could put that right over here and be like, oh, look at that. That's a nice shiny ring.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, the ring I kept. Everything else, I've never kept any trophies.
So, and I'm trying to, like I keep telling the Phillies, I'm like, hey, listen, when we win this year, when we win our ring this year, I want one. I feel like I should get one. Right when it says the Philly sports guy on it, you know what I mean? Or PSG,
That
you
is
know?
hilarious. They'd probably get you one. They'd just charge you for it. They're like
Yeah, they're like
$55,000.
20 grand.
You can have.
Yeah, I would take the 20 grand one if I had the chance, but I'd have to have a sponsor buy it for me.
No, of course.
No chance I'm spending 20 grand on a ring.
Yep.
I didn't hit any home runs. So
Yep.
but that's kind of how I feel about that. Well, whatever. Neither here nor there. Anyways, so I mean, today's Thursday. Obviously, tomorrow is the weekend. What do you got planning going on this weekend?
Let's see. This weekend, just kind of running around. I actually don't have anything pressing this weekend, which is kind of nice. It's been a while. So, yeah, I think I might actually just try and get some stuff done that has been making me mad walking by it.
So I mean, obviously the Athletics are in town, which means that everybody should go crazy here because, it's Oakland. But actually, so tomorrow night's a buddy of mine's birthday. On Saturday, however, they are having boxing at the Wells Fargo Center.
Okay.
And it's the first time that boxing is there's been one other time in the history of the Wells Fargo Center that they've had a boxing match. So, and they are I got invited to go report on it. They want me to do my social media on this boxing match, on these
Nice.
boxing matches. I've never been to a boxing match before.
Oh, really?
So this is going to be my first time checking this out, which is going to be fun for me. And we have a guy who's actually going up and putting his IBF title on the line.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to go check that out and see exactly how things are in the boxing world. It'll be interesting.
It's fun. Yeah, watching boxing, watching MMA, like it's a good time live.
I can imagine. I mean, obviously, I've been to an MMA fight before, and I went to one, and they invited me in. All of a sudden, I showed up. I was like, it was weird because I walked in. I walked in somewhat late, and I felt like they waited for me to arrive because I show up. Next thing you know, they got me in the ring. Like I'm all painted up as the Philly sports guy.
Sure.
Show up to this event. My girlfriend goes to get a couple of beers. They're like, "Oh, great!" And they literally, next thing I know, I'm up on stage. I'm like, "Oh, in the ring." My girlfriend comes back with her drinks, and she's like, "Why is my boyfriend in the ring?" And they're like, "Oh, you're with him? Hold on, let's get you up here." She's like, "Oh, no, I'm not getting in that friggin' ring." Like he's fine up there by himself.
Yeah.
And literally, like I didn't know, like I did an Eagles chant. I went around, high-fived everybody, and I wound up having front row seats. wound up like they got me right up against the ring. I was doing videos and stuff like that. It was awesome for me because I had never been to one before. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can be right up front and center, that is that's a great spot to be.
right.
You either want to be there or you want to be like second level spot, because then that's your best view, right? Because you can see over the fence, and or if it's boxing, over the ropes and whatever. So you either want to be like right there, just because it's a cool experience, or you want to be up high so you can actually see.
And it was amazing because it was the son of the guy who was promoting it and throwing the event. Like he owned, I think it was the Art of War, is the name of the company. So he owned the company. It was his son that reached out to me and said, "Hey, my dad said, they said, if you wanted to come to this event, we'd love to have you." And I said, "You know what? I've never been to an MMA fight before. Let's do it." And next thing I know, like I said, literally, I show up an hour late, just about. Wasn't my fault that they didn't start. Actually, what happened was they didn't have a medical guy in the house. He got stuck in traffic because it was the same night as the Taylor Swift concert.
That'll ruin some traffic.
Which is why I was late. So it was like, he got stuck in that traffic as well. So so they get me up where I do my thing, I leave, and then they start because the guy showed up just after me, I guess. So I thought for all that time that they were waiting on me that entire time. I'm like, damn, that's ridiculous.
So they just took advantage of we got a time filler real quick.
We have a celebrity. I'm not a celebrity. Half those people don't even know who I was. You know what I mean?
Hey, but it worked. It worked.
Yeah, and they bring me up on stage. And the announcer is like, "We got the Philly fan." It's like, I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, everybody?"
You're like, close enough. Close enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what am I? I'm the painted up guy. Obviously, you've seen me before. Here comes the Eagles. We got some work to do. Let's go, Birds. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah.
No, I mean, as the promoter, though, when they're like, our guy isn't here, it's just like, oh, how am I going to fill this time?
Hold on. We got this guy show up. Perfect.
Time.
And that's what I did. I wasted 15 minutes because I like they did it, and then they let me out of the ring, and now I'm running around high-fiving everybody, trying to get everybody all hyped up.
Sure.
I mean, it was cool, and then they started the fights.
Nice.
But that whole night, and for probably 2 months after the fact, until I found out afterwards why they actually they didn't start it on time. But even the girlfriend's like, they waited for you to start this fight. Like, had I known that, we'd have gotten here earlier. Like, I'm like,
you're right.
I don't know what I'm walking into. I just walk into it. You know what I mean? Yep. Here's the door. I'm walking in. Next thing you know, it's like, hey, you are the star of the show. What?
That's right. Busting in like Kool-Aid Man.
Like they literally they got the pyrotechnics went off. Like they had me stand somewhere. That's
that's cool.
You got the fireworks go off. I'm like, what's going on here? What did I just walk into?
All of a sudden, you're like, "Let's go!"
Exactly. Like, what am I? What am I? Am I getting into a fight? And like, you're putting me up there. I cheat when I fight, so I don't know if I'm the good guy to do this. So yeah, it'll be fun to kind of see at a boxing match. I've never been to a boxing match, so this is going to be a lot of fun. And so you're going to get to see. Now, my thought was like, so there's a Phillies game beforehand.
Sure.
And I was like, all right, because the game's at 4. Boxing starts at 5. The first match is at 6. I figure I'm going to show up around 7. You know what I mean? Because the main event's not until 10. And they're putting me in a suite. They're taking care of me really nicely. They want me to not only talk about the boxing, but they want me to talk about the Wells Fargo Center, stuff like that, all of which I get. You know what I mean? That's awesome that they have chosen me to be this person, to one of the people that they are probably bringing into the suite. They're bringing a bunch of us, I'm sure. But I'm wondering, do I get painted up for this? And if I do get painted up, how do I paint?
I mean, I guess at that point you'd have to do some research about who was fighting.
So the one guy who's fighting is actually going up. He's putting his IBF welterweight title on the line. He's actually an undefeated boxer from Philadelphia. So he is um like a
I mean, I guess you just paint yourself up as the Philly fan.
something like that. Yay. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, and I'm trying to see. It's like even the score app doesn't even have it in here. I'm like, why isn't boxing listed on this? It's got MMA but not boxing.
Yeah, it's because low level boxing stuff, it's kind of like local MMA stuff most of the time doesn't get in there either. Like they'll do the big, UFC stuff, but they don't generally do low level. It just has to do with.
Well, this isn't really low level. It's just, yeah, they stopped doing it. The last thing that they had in this thing was how they postponed the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson match.
Oh, so they're not keeping their stuff updated anyway.
Not in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm trying to find out. What is this guy? I mean, I know that it's Diaz, Mandival. I'll tell you who it is. I'll tell you who it is right now. I know I have this. I got it right here in an email. What am I talking about? Let me just go right to the email because I need to know these things.
I mean, that's true.
And Boots Ennis. Jaron Boots Ennis defends his IBF World Welterweight title against David Avanesian.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that is the main event. And there is an undercard, of course, and that's like I think 8 fights.
Okay. All right.
And I'm like, okay, let's do it. You know what I mean? I'm game. But I'm trying to figure out how I would paint. Like, how do I paint up for this? If I was to paint at all, should I paint, or should I actually put on like a sport jacket? Like,
so where are you sitting?
In a suite. So I'm not anywhere near ringside. So I wouldn't ringside. It would have to be like a tuxedo, I would think, almost, right?
Yeah. Well, no, the jacket would be good. But if you're up in a suite, I wouldn't worry about painting up.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. But it's just because I'm doing social media.
No, I know. Yeah, I don't think you have to. Like, I would dress up if you're in the suite, right? Like, I'd still do the jacket kind of idea. But yeah, you're not going to need to paint up for that because you're not going to be by anybody.
So, and I've been trying more to do stuff without the paint, just so that people know, hey, yeah, he's actually a normal guy in general. I don't know if normal would be the good
I was going to say, who are you lying to?
But the other thing that I may wind up being a judge for is the Diamond G-String Awards.
There we go. And that is a good way to wrap up our show.
Yeah, Delilah's on July 24th. I was going anyways because I'm going with a friend of mine, and we're just kind of getting out and about and do whatever. And then I found out that another influencer, a friend of mine, is a judge, and he's like, "Do you want to be a judge too?" And I'm like,
"Don't threaten me with a good time."
Yes.
Right.
He's like, "Would you paint up for that?" I'm like, if they were going to have me be a judge, yes.
Yeah, whatever they need.
If they want me to be a judge for the Diamond G-String Awards, I would absolutely do that. That content would all go to my subscribers. You'd have to subscribe to me.
Yes, absolutely.
You're not getting that. You're not getting that on the normal page. It's only to subscribes.
Yep, no doubt. Other than that, we will see you guys tomorrow. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff. Obviously, if you want some diamond thong action, you definitely have to subscribe.
Exactly.
If you are watching on Roku, be sure to stay tuned for the next hour. Other than that, we will see you all tomorrow morning.
Take care, guys.